Hi. So I don't even know what the intro is anymore. Hi guys, welcome back to What Fuels a Dancer. My name is Leah. I'm a professional ballet dancer, a certified nutrition health coach, and I am working on my master's in nutrition. I feel like I should add that now to my intro. But hi, it's been a while. I think it's been over 2 months maybe since I've uploaded on this channel, as well as that video was pre-filmed. So it's been since 2020. Like, I think the last video that I filmed was in December. So in today's video, I kind of just wanted to talk about something that was on my mind. Now that my spring semester is over and I have a little bit of a break before my summer semester, I had like a list of video ideas in the back of my mind, but none of them just like felt right to kind of come back and start making videos again, because it kind of just glosses over a little bit of what I've been going through, and I think a lot of dancers can resonate with this feeling. So just as kind of like a disclaimer for this video, I am not a mental health professional. I am not a counselor. This is just me and my personal experience and my story. And so there's going to be some topics discussed in this video, like depression, anxiety. So if those topics are difficult for you to listen to right now, please feel free to not watch this video and, watch another video, watch one of mine, watch someone else's, or just, do whatever you want. So I'm not sure how detailed I'm going to go into my story, because I'm not sure if I'm comfortable sharing everything right now, but I think more people need to talk about not being okay, especially after 2020 and everything that was going on top of just like, for me, mental health has been something that I've been dealing with my entire life. So I just think that it's really important to talk about, and it's one of the big reasons why I haven't really been present on here. So I don't have a plan for this video. I don't have anything written down. A lot of times I have like an outline on my computer of what I want to say, but this video is literally on a whim. So we'll just see how that goes. So I have my tea, and let's just chat. So I think, as a lot of dancers can experience, I go through times where I don't feel like I'm enough, and also going through times where I really base my worth off of what I do rather than who I am. So I have a very type A personality, and I'm a perfectionist. So I like to not only do everything to the best of my ability, but I also often judge myself based on my output and my performance, which can be really detrimental for my mental health, because I start valuing myself in terms of what I can do rather than who I am as a person. So I struggled with this a lot, especially, like 10 years ago when I was auditioning and I wouldn't get a contract, or I wouldn't get into that summer course, or when I danced poorly in dance, or when I didn't get that part that I wanted, or when I was like not a favorite in dance class. So I took that all very hard and very personally. And it's not just in dance that I noticed that, but even like in school when I was growing up. I also dealt with social anxiety from as long as I can remember. I've always had a difficult time being in a group of people. I'm someone who thrives on one-on-one connection. And so I had a really hard time in school finding a friend group that I really felt safe and connected in. And that's not anyone's fault, but purely my personality as well as how I perceived myself. And as dancers, I feel like we're particularly hard on ourselves, even if we're already predisposed to that anyway. And so I grew up, thinking that not only was I not good enough, but people also thought that about me and knew that about me, that I wasn't good enough. And so over time, it's gotten better, especially as I've been going to therapy for the past, I think 6 years. Honestly, I've been with the same counselor. She's amazing. And I've been able to work through a lot of those things with her and really kind of understand how I came to be like that and, what I can do to kind of deal with it. And I would say really over the past several years, I've kind of had to relearn all of that again. So when I was really injured, I had to figure out who I was outside of dance. And I really heavily depended on school because if I wasn't going to be successful in dance, I wanted to have that degree. I wanted to have that good job. I wanted to be able to show that I was making a difference through my work. And I have been very grateful to be able to access education, higher education, and also blessed that that's something that I love to do and that I've always wanted to pursue. And after I got my bachelor's degree, I took a little bit of a break from school and then realized that I really wanted to go into nutrition because that's what I want to do in my life, is to be able to serve dancers and dance companies and studios as a whole into how to help dancers really develop a good relationship with food and with their body, and is like why I created What Fuels a Dancer. And so my relationship with ballet has been really great the past few years. Of course, I have those insecurities of because I don't dance full time anymore, that I can be hard on myself thinking about where my technique was, 7-8 years ago when I was dancing full time in comparison to now. But I think ultimately because I'm so happy dancing and there have been several recent opportunities that have just been so great to engage with dance in. And so that has been really great. But then I feel like right now I'm going through who am I outside of my dream and my goal and my aspiration, because I don't know how to word this, but sometimes I feel like if I'm not working towards something big, or if I'm not progressing or making this huge difference in the world, that I'm not good enough. And while I do know that I still have this huge goal that I want to work towards, I also don't want what happened to me with dance to happen with this. And this semester, I think, really hit me with that because I was feeling really inadequate and really burnt out this semester, and wondering why I'm not able to keep up with dancing as much as I want to, and posting as much on Instagram and creating videos, and just those feelings of inadequacy just kept piling up that made me feel like maybe I'm not good enough to do this. Maybe I don't have the ability to keep up with everyone else. And that's really hard because the way that I know personally I could force myself to do that and keep up that level of output, but at what cost? Mentally and physically and emotionally, I would just be burnt out. And so I've really been struggling with what is my worth if I just all of a sudden don't post videos on, sorry, my dog's playing and just hit the tripod. Who am I if I'm not contributing to other people and mentoring other people and helping other people with nutrition. Like, I've had to learn that while I can push myself to the brink of exhaustion and burnout, that I can't anymore for my overall well-being. And some of that also plays in with just my overall struggle with mental health. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I've always struggled with depression and anxiety. I don't know why. I don't think anyone can really know why some of those things exist, but it has always been something that I've struggled with and has always made me feel less than, and like I'm not fully understood by other people. And in reality, all of us go through times in our lives that are really difficult and that force us to slow down and really take care of ourselves, not because we're choosing to, but because we absolutely have to in order to make it. So I know I mentioned earlier a little bit about what it was like when I was younger, but specifically over the past 2 years have been filled with ups and downs. In 2019, I finally got to the place where I was ready to get diagnosed with, for mental health. And that was something that I had opted not to do previously because I was already in therapy and, it was obvious that I had depression, but I just never wanted the label, I guess. But in 2019, I had gotten to the place where I really wanted to try medication because it had gotten to the point where I felt like I was doing everything right, yet mentally and emotionally, everything was not right. And I had just gotten married. I have this amazing husband. I have super supportive friends. I have this super stable environment, yet mentally I was going through the exact opposite and I didn't have a reason. And I think that's really hard, is when you feel like everything on the outside looks perfect, but yet everything going on in your mind is most definitely not. And how do you explain that to other people, especially when that's not, I don't know, it's not something that is super easy to talk about on social media. And so that has always made me feel like, what's wrong with me? And why can't I just be normal? And why can't, why do I always have to struggle with mental health? When everything in my life on paper is perfect. And so in 2019, back on track, in 2019, I decided to get diagnosed with major depressive disorder or clinical depression. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I am not a counselor. And I decided to go on to an antidepressant medication. And thankfully, the first one that I tried worked really well for me, which I'm super grateful for, because I know many people go through months of trial and error before they find one that works for them. And for a while, that really helped. And it felt like a night and day difference. It felt like so many times I would find myself in this really deep pit, and I wouldn't even realize I was there until I was at the bottom. And with medication, I felt like I could find myself, maybe a little bit into that cave, and I was able to, get myself back out of it, rather than find myself in this really deep, dark place and not know how to get out. I also just want to say that, there are so many people who experience this, yet never tell someone, as well as we may never know. And one thing that has taught me is, one, it's humbled me, but two, it's also taught me that we never know where someone is in their life. And, from the outside, it can seem like everything is fine and great, but like they can really be struggling with feeling heard and understood and feeling like they have purpose and that, that they're good enough. And that's where I was. And so after going on medication, that really helped me. And, for a while, everything was great. And then 2020 hit. And I am super grateful that for, March through, I think, May, I had off of work and I was able to stay home, and I started a lot of fun projects. Like, I started this YouTube channel a year ago. I made the decision to go back to school, which was really exciting and something that I knew I always wanted to do. And truly studying what I'm studying right now, it makes me so excited to be able to potentially and hopefully help other people who have gone through similar things that I have. And especially being able to help dancers develop a healthy relationship with food and with their body, which I know I talk about all the time, but it truly is what I want to do with my life. And so it was so exciting to start school in the fall. And then after that first semester, I don't know, I found myself in a place where I was really struggling again. Those feelings of inadequacy and telling myself that I was never going to be good enough, that, people wouldn't think I was good enough, started creeping in. And it really then also was translating into my personal life, because that's the story that I was telling myself of what those important people in my life were feeling about me, which was totally not true. But when you struggle with mental health, those are thought patterns that can be perpetuated. And so it was Christmas Eve, and I was doing a puzzle or something. And all of a sudden I just got really anxious and afraid and angry. And I just felt all these really deep emotions. And I was talking with my husband, and I just started crying because I was feeling so isolated and alone, even though I know I was surrounded by other people. And this is a feeling that's not new. This is something that I have experienced many times in my life, and has been one of the key indicators that I need to make sure that I get the help that I need. Even though I am always working on my mental health, it's a sign that, okay, I really need to let someone know what I'm going through right now mentally. And then thankfully from there, I have steadily been improving since then. I started dancing for a contemporary ballet company and was really fortunate to do a show with them in February, while I was also in this past semester that I just finished. And, those feelings of inadequacy just don't go away overnight. And there's something that I know I might always struggle with or find myself encountering, I guess. And so I am trying to learn how to give myself the grace to not let it define me, but also to give myself the space to truly heal in those moments and get the help that I need and give myself a break, that my productivity to keep going through my depression doesn't need to, I don't need to be high functioning. I don't need to put out this message that I'm perfect and that I have everything under control and that I'm able to do a bazillion things at once and that I'm really successful and all of that sort of stuff. Because I'm learning that at the end of the day, that doesn't define me. That at the end of the day, I want to be a loving wife, a dog mom, a supportive friend. I want to be kind and caring and compassionate towards others. I want to be present for the people in my life. And I want to enjoy the things, the day-to-day things in life that I love. All of this to say, I really just wanted to make this video so, one, as a cathartic experience for me, hopefully, and two, if there are other people and other dancers who see this and who are struggling with feeling like they are enough and that they're struggling with finding their worth in life, that you're not alone, and how important it is to reach out and to get the help that you need. And I know that I have been very privileged to be able to have access to the help that I need. I hope, if anything, this video can just remind you that you are enough and you get to define your worth based off of who you are and not what you do. And no matter what any director, any teacher, any peer, any parent, any friend, anyone, whatever anyone tells you, you are perfect just the way that you are. And you don't need to change to conform to what someone else wants. And your worth isn't defined by other people. So with all that being said, take care of yourself, take care of others. Never judge someone based off of what they provide on social media, and just really don't be afraid to reach out to someone if you need help. I like to try and keep my videos very light and uplifting because I feel like we all need that in the world, but I also think it's important to talk about the hard things, because I know during times in my life, I wish I would have known someone else who has gone through what I was going through, just to know that, like, I'm not alone, and those feelings of isolation maybe feel a little bit less intense. Take care of yourself, love yourself, give grace to yourself, and do what you love. Don't let other people define your worth. Okay, that's all. Bye.